Sunbeams forming a shadow for a field. We're floating, just carried by levity. Where we wing, delighted to fly on and look what future brings. Let us see if our ways will cross once again when we have lost each other. Yeah, then we will see if you come and fly with me. 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 Forward, slowly feeling the weight of gravity. Innocence, falling to their destiny. We keep on with this goal in our minds. Let's fly on, we'll meet at the edge of paradise. Let us see if our ways will cross once again when we have lost each other. Yeah, then we will see if you come and fly with me. 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 If you come and fly with me, flying along where we started, part of me will not regret. I won't forget. Stay strong, we're not departed. Endlessly, you will be free. If you come and fly with me. Can I take one more piece of you? If I change, would you want me to? I was standing on my own when I heard your sound. love is in the rain. Is it wrong to collide all night with you? If I stay, would you see it through? I was standing on my own when I heard your sound. All alone, looking for a signal, searching on the interstate. All alone, craving one more heartbeat. Just turn me on. Love is in the rain.
Top of the morning to you ladies! My name is not JACKSEPTICEYE, but if you're curious of who he is, then I'll link him on the screen somewhere so you know what the heck is going on. But for those that do know, which will probably be a large variety and large majority of people, welcome to the party, you ladders. So this was a project that was pretty big to me. I mentioned it quite a while ago, especially on Instagram. And I'm sorry that it took so long. It wasn't really meant to be taking this long since the Instagram post to when the video came up. It's just because there were a lot of construction going on nearby, and then I was pretty busy with work. And then I got sick as well and had a really bad cold towards the end of the season. So it just kind of drew everything out and became very difficult to kind of get back in there and just find a time where I could set up everything and just record, because there was so many issues. And I had a few issues with trying to sync up my videos like these with the audio recorded separately, just because of something that I wasn't doing quite right, and the way the camera files gets imported, etc., because of my camera type, blah 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 blah. Some of you guys might know what I'm going on about, but that's kind of beside the point. Anyway, we're here to talk about JACKSEPTICEYE, or Sean, I think is his real name. I'm relatively new to him. I only started watching him this year, probably a good few months ago. And I'll link down below as well if you're into watching Let's Players. He's an absolutely amazing guy, brings so much laughter to a lot of people. He does swear a little bit, but you know, swearing is kind of one of those things where it's just on the outside of people, and it's what's on the inside and personality that's most important. If you get to watch him a bit and start to know what his personality is like, I guarantee you will love him. You will love his genuine feel, his just the way he comes across. He's very happy, he's energetic, he's real. When he isn't, then he isn't. Especially in certain series where it's very sort of boils down to the heart. He's very genuine and just honest with his reactions, and it is just amazing to watch. And that's one of the things I look forward every single day, if there's a new video out or if there's a longer series out, which is my favorite types. And I'll link these ones down there for you if you're interested, of some of the ones that I loved watching. And obviously he produces a lot of videos. He produces 2 videos every single day for I think at least 4 years now, or I can't remember how much he said in one of his videos, but either way, he's amazing, has a lot of subscribers, everybody loves him. The people in the community for him are generally quite nice as well, and quite mature in terms of the way they engage with each other. So it's great if you just join the community. So anyway, so this is kind of a little bit of a tribute. There was a game that came out, I think a year ago now, at least, which was called Unravel, and it's basically about memories, and the main character that you play as, which you did a gameplay for as well, is actually a little yarn character called Yarny, and it's essentially you have to go around collecting the like memories and trying to get through different scenarios that are all sort of represented in different photographs, and you have to collect the badges, and every time you collect the badges at the end of every scenario, you basically kind of collect the photos back into a photo book. Sorry, I'm not very good at explaining this, but it was a very peaceful, very emotional, I guess you could say, kind of on a deeper level kind of game. It wasn't like something that would make you tug into tears, but it kind of spoke to you in a nostalgic way, something that kind of resonates inside you when you watch it. Anyway, so I started watching JACKSEPTICEYE a little while back, and I think he's an amazing guy. There's not much more to say, and it's really for something that you should be seeing for yourself. So you should definitely click on that button and just subscribe to him, see his videos and enjoy them. And yes, so about this, so these figurines, they're actually, as you can tell, they're actually based on a Wagashi recipe instead of something like fondant. For me personally, I am not a big fan of fondant. This is why I decided to look for other replacements. Initially, I had another idea that I was trying to think about whether I could use that, and I knew that it wasn't going to work out the way it is because that kind of recipe didn't have a stability outside the fridge. Whereas Wagashi is often served both room temperature or chilled, and the basis is essentially the same. And if you don't know what Wagashi is, I'll try and post a photo of it to show you. It's basically a traditional Japanese dessert that is made to reflect the different seasons traditionally. There's a huge diversity of it. Unfortunately, I can't find any in Sydney, I don't think, unless it's just very like buried somewhere in the city that I don't know. But it's very traditional in Japan. It looks beautiful, a lot of craftsmanship involved, and it's basically based off white beans, white broad beans. There's another name for them, but white broad beans, and I'll put it down there, I can't remember off my head. I got it from Harris Farms, luckily I would manage to find some there. You basically, if you wanted to make this process a little bit easier for you, because it did take me a long time, and that's also part of the reason why it took so long, because it was just so tiring trying to get from one process of the preparation of ingredients all the way through to actually starting to get the basis of the recipe so that I could actually start molding characters, and then finally after doing all that, you know, edit and everything. But basically you could just get white bean paste. So if you were able to order it online, that would save you the whole first half of the recipe video, and then essentially you can go from there and then just make it into the basis for making wagashi, and then mold that into different colors and play around and get the figurine that you wanted. Obviously, depending on how big you make them or the way you're shaping them, you may need supports like spaghettis if you want them edible, or maybe just like toothpicks and candy sticks, just anything that basically you use that's not edible. You'll have to obviously warn the people who are eating it, unless they're, you just want to make a figurine or something like that that goes on top of cakes or cupcake toppers that are basically edible but not necessarily going to be eaten. But obviously remember to warn people about it. So the first process of this obviously was basically to make the beans suitable for the recipe and then bring them into, get them to become the white bean paste. And after I made the white bean paste, I also made the, what did I do? After the white bean paste, I then made them into, with the, I think it was a bit of water, shiratamako, which is the glutinous rice granules, and made them into the paste. I did find that because I was trying to make sure I had enough to work with, so having more mix than less, I ended up with a fair bit. I probably only need about 2/3 of the recipe to complete the size of the figurines that I did, and because they were such a big batch, if you do follow this recipe and make your own, I would recommend actually halving the recipe so you can cook it up to the point where you're going to cook out the moisture in the recipe to make sure the white bean paste isn't too wet. I would halve it from that step, and even quarter if you need to, and just cook them separately so that you can really cook them well. Because my mixture was so high in volume, I found that I had to microwave to nuke it several times, especially adding any food coloring, etc., which might have added extra moisture. It just made the process a lot longer and a little bit harder. But of course, you don't have to go through that step. You could just order or buy white bean paste, or look for it in any nearby, maybe Japanese grocery stores should probably have it. But it was overall a really fun process, and I think it was probably something like a 70% success for me in terms of how the presentation looked and everything. I would have preferred Yarny to look a little bit more 3D with the ravels of the yarn, but I guess I kind of flattened them a little in the process of like pushing and holding and shaping everything together. They do very well in the sense that, at least in terms of storage, you could literally chuck it into the fridge as is, which I did because I didn't need it for the recipe anymore. I just kind of stored it in there. And they stay really, really well. They chill really well. They held really well. I think it was after about a week I had it in there and I was about to get rid of it, and the only things I started giving in were actually just the whipped cream that I used as the basis of the decoration, which was starting to kind of split a little from too much exposure to the fridge air, and also just a little bit of bleeding from I guess contact with the food colored wagashi for so long. But it was really fun, and I think I would look into this a little bit more when I do have time somewhere down the road, when the occasion comes up where I need some sort of figurine or decoration like that again. I would probably order the white bean paste if I could, because that really took a long time. That, or it would be a smaller project preferably, or I just have to prepare much earlier, because that was pretty tiring to do. But it was really fun, and it was definitely worth a try, and it was very interesting to try it out, and it actually tasted really nice. They were really, really nice to eat, and definitely tastier than the fondant. And I just don't really like using fondant because it has so much process involved in having to take care of how you do it. It is very, very good at what it does, but it's just something that's not for me. And there's so many amazing recipes out there of how people use fondant and what they do with it and how to make it if you wanted to make it from scratch. So I didn't think there would be a necessary need for it, and I just wanted to do something different and also see if there was an alternative to it. And I feel like there is, and you just have to think more about it. And this one just needs a bit more time, a little bit more thought, and some new ideas will probably come in and boost up this the quality of this. But otherwise, I hope you guys liked it. It was pretty much just a tribute, because I remember when I was watching the video, JACKSEPTICEYE said that he really wanted a yarny of his own, and this is essentially for him, even though I can't send it to him and it's not something that will last forever. It was just a tribute to say thanks for his hard work of making so many amazing videos and just bringing so much laughter and so much fun to all the people out there. And this is one of the best things I do coming home from work or before going to work. Just wake up, watch his videos and enjoy myself. It's really one of the best stress reliefs I have, and one of the hobbies I have really big enjoyment in it. Yeah, so I guess that does it. I hope you guys like this video, and I hope you guys get a chance to try out and make something out of it. It doesn't have to be Yarny or JACKSEPTICEYE. It could be anything you like. Could be Sam. Whatever you like. But I think I'll leave it there, and I'll see you guys next time. Don't forget to like and subscribe if you enjoy the video, and I'll catch you guys all around next time. Bye 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 bye.